So, offensive lineman is something that I feel the Niners need to address. But under the circumstances, they prefer a system. A guy who knows how to run the offensive line system. You got to be 300 pounds or 320 at the max because you got to move. So when the Niners are looking at offensive linemen, they're looking at guys who are very versatile. So now I'm getting an idea because I've seen it for years. They just met with UTSA offensive lineman Kamar Missouri. So he's about 6'5", 310 pounds. The last time the Niners had met with a UTSA offensive lineman, he got drafted in the 4th round, and he just happened to be interviewed by me 2 months before the draft. It's pretty coincidence that I'm going to do the same with this kid. Kamar Missouri is going to be a guest on my show tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific time. You know, it's going to be interesting on this kid's journey. You know, the Niners just look at guys who fit the system. Just from his tape, he's only given up 7 sacks the last 2 seasons. So maybe he might be better at guard at the next level, just like how I looked at Spencer Burford. I think that's the same way. I think the Niners just look at the talent and see what they can work with. And if they don't address offensive linemen early, this guy might be the candidate that they might draft. Probably between the 4th or 5th round pick. I think that's how they look at offensive linemen because Spencer Burford, let's be honest, in 2022, I didn't have a high draft grade on this kid. I had a 5th round grade. I didn't think he was a 4th round. But it's possible. Maybe Kamar Missouri might sneak up on the draft board for the Niners, and we might get him in day 3 early pick. Who knows? Because if they want to value offensive linemen, they're going to bring in guys who fit the system or who they can develop. And he kind of fits the mold. So we'll have an idea on who this kid's all about. But he's been at UTSA for the last 2 years. So he was one of the guys who transferred from a solid school. So he's a guy that I'm definitely going to get to know about. But everything itself, man, just proves otherwise, you know. I feel like the Niners just don't really want those big bully offensive linemen. They just want a guy who fits the system. They don't want those freaking heavy power guys for some reason. Because that's how Kyle Shanahan operates. Chris Forrester seems to want those kind of guys. And it's very unfortunately, but if you fit the criteria of what you weigh, you got to be around 320 or less or something like that. And you got to be so athletic to move. And you got to be able to know the system. Or else you won't play, bro. So if you fit the mold, then you're likely going to be on our radar. But the fact that this guy's that we met with, bro, it's possible. He might be the guy. I'm just curious, bro. Let me know what y'all think, man. But it looks like we got a sleeper. Kamar Missouri is somebody to watch on the radar. It's on the watch, man. That's all I got to say.